Petitions or delegations today? Move adoption of the minutes of August 21st, 2024.
Second.
Little delay there. All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Is there any business arising from those minutes? Hearing none. Public considerations. I don't think there's any scheduled. So now we're down to the chair's report, and I don't have one. And the staff reports. So we have the 2024 key performance indicators. And do we want to have the motion first? Okay, they'll have a motion that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
Move receipt.
Second.
Okay. Do we want to have the presentation then?
Yeah, that's right. Well, the staff will present this.
Thank you through the CAO to the chair and the commissioners. We've prepared just a mid-year sort of summer report just to highlight what we're doing at Strathcona Gardens and how we're doing as far as the key performance indicators. Just a couple of highlights for the first two quarters. We got recreate approval, pretty exciting. The staff very relieved because it was a bit of a 7-8 year journey to get this through. So staff are very excited for the project. We've done some arena improvements, some exterior doors and painting. And we've welcomed about 7 new staff to the team this year and supported the city lifeguard staff with an in-service training in our pool. Sort of, it was a joint effort. And then we've hosted a number of successful tournaments, shows, events over the spring and summer in our pool and arenas.
In the arenas, we're continually offering different camps and lessons for the younger patrons most often, and we remain committed to providing programs that alleviate the challenges that parents face to ensure that the kids have exciting things to do when school's out. Examples of that are camps and lessons, like one of our most popular one is our Pro D Day pond hockey tournament. So chance where we have about 40 kids that come to the facility. They play hockey all day long. We do those probably a couple times a year. We hosted one earlier this year. And it's a thing that we've done for about 20 years, so it's very refined. And it's something that we get asked a lot about from other facilities. Moving on to our arena user groups. Our largest user group, Campbell River Minor Hockey, they had a very successful 2023-24 season. They saw an increase in their registration from the previous year with over 500 kids. And along with those 500 kids, we have to remember that there's an army of parents that go along to organize all that to make sure it all goes off successful. And they also had 2 teams represent Campbell River at the BC Provincials, the 2 Tyee teams. The user groups, again, Campbell River Skating Club, they had a fantastic start to their year. 24 skaters, they competed at the Vancouver Island Regional Championships, and the club represented Campbell River at the 2024 Skate Canada Ice Summit. And they also, in addition to all this, in the summertime, they had over 130 kids registered for their summer programming. The Ravens, Campbell River Ravens Lacrosse Association, they had 80 players registered this year, and their junior B team had a solid season, making it to the second round of the playoffs, and just narrowly missed out on the provincials by 1 game.
In the pool and fitness area, we've had quite a bit of success with our advanced aquatics courses and lifeguarding. We've had 246 participants register in our certification programs. And we've offered some new and unique courses like the National Lifeguard Waterfront and National Lifeguard Surf courses. And while we're not necessarily seeing 246 new lifeguards join our staff team, that means we've got an additional 246 individuals out in our community that are aware of water safety and helping our citizens be safe wherever they go around the water, whether it's at the lakes, ocean front, or further beyond. Our lifeguard team is now holding in-service training every second month, and we've got a pretty green team of lifeguards, and we're pretty invested in making them as strong as they can possibly be, and they're committed to that themselves. So we're hosting these regular in-service training dates, and as Robin mentioned briefly, we did do a joint in-service with the outdoor pool staff and actually refined some of our emergency procedures so that they're the same for the lifeguards that work at either pool, and similar expectations for participants that are coming to the facilities as well.
One thing that Sarah and her team have found that, we do a great job at putting these kids through the curriculum to become lifeguards. But then, when they come and work for us, it can be pretty intimidating on the pool deck dealing with the amount of kids, the parents. So the extra training that we're doing is to get them familiar with the experiences that they're going to experience, when they're on their own on the pool deck.
And then, like arenas, we're running day camps in the pool side. So we tried something new this year, which is a splash of everything single day camp. So what we're seeing through Christmas and spring break, families aren't necessarily looking for a whole week of childcare. They're looking for childcare here and there in between days that they've taken off to spend with their families. So these single day camps offer that option. And our registered drop-in aquatic fitness courses continue to grow. So we moved to a registered drop-in model for all of our aquatic fitness because we simply had more people showing up for those classes than we had pool space to offer them. So now they pre-register for their spot. They know that when they arrive, they're not going to be turned away. And that's been a fairly successful model. And we are offering classes 5 days a week currently. Our pool user groups have also had a very successful summer. Camel River Salmon Kings had several new records broken at their swim meets, and really great community initiative and community buy-in. That's a very community-oriented swim club. And they do fundraising as well for beach cleanups and the Camel River Head Injury Support Society. And the Campbell River Killer Whales had a very successful season, including sending several swimmers to the 2024 Canadian Olympic Trials, which is a big deal for our small swim club. They had 4 swimmers selected to represent Vancouver Island at the BC Summer Games, and some swimmers were even sent to compete in international meets in California.
In our dry floor in the arenas, pickleball, it's something that everybody knows. It's definitely thriving, and it certainly is at Strathcona Gardens. This year we partnered with the Campbell River Pickleball Association. It's a newly formed association, and we piloted beginner lesson programs, and we introduced 36 new players to the sport. And then this season we saw 210 more court reservations than the previous year, totaling 368 court reservations, and that translates to about 1,500 people coming to play pickleball at the Gardens. The North Island Outdoor Adventure Show, we hosted it again in our second year, and it was very, very well received. We increased our booths from 35 to 45 this year. And again, we focused on attracting a wide variety of vendors, so there's something interesting for everyone from the community to come and see. And I'm proud to report that we sold out all our vendor space a month ahead of the event, and we had just over 2,500 people come through our doors throughout that weekend. And then just to speak more about the popularity of this event, earlier this month, we launched early bird registration for next April, and we've already secured 15 booths, and we've got 5 events sponsors on board. And then to speak more about other events on our dry floor, Evergreen Exhibitions, they book our arena each year, and we're part of their series of home shows that they host up and down Vancouver Island. More about pickleball, we had a 2-day pickleball tournament again, where I think last year we had about 100 players attend. This year it was close to 170. And these players are coming from all over Vancouver Island, including places off the island like Cortez and Quadra. And then, of course, the grad ceremonies, they happen for both the high schools in town, Carey High and Timberline. And we have nearly 1,000 people attend both those events. So moving on to summer break and a lot of the fun things that we offer to the community. We are super excited this year to launch the use of the SRD bus. And one of the, I think Sarah will talk more about what they did in the aquatics world, but we were able to use it for one of our Mach 1 camps, and that camp visits different areas of Campbell River, like places like stops at the pier, to go to the aquarium, the splash park, and we even made our way all the way out to Miracle Beach to play some mini golf.
The second picture that you can see there of the camps on the bus is a pretty exciting moment for us. On our new bus, we're sending 2 of our summer camps, an arena camp and a pool camp, to McIver Lake to participate in the lake in under lifeguarded conditions. So we sent lifeguards out there as well that were waterfront trained in our earlier courses in the summer, so that we're offering these kids a really unique opportunity in a way that's very safe. That included making safety plans for that area, training the staff and rescues in that area, and it was quite popular amongst our camps and something that we hope to expand on in the summer. Our drop-in aquatic fitness classes continue to be popular over the summer. It was previously thought that aquatics fitness classes needed to be put on pause through summer programs, that people were not interested in participating. And what we saw was only about a 10% decrease in participation. So clearly very valuable. And throughout the summer, we added half-hour breaks into our scheduling just to give a bit of a pause for the staff. Summers are very busy in our swims. We can catch up on some of the cleaning items and just take a break from the noise that can be on the pool deck as well. So balancing that need of the community with the needs of our staff and helping maintain a sustainable model.
And then back inside the arenas, both ice and dry floor. On the ice, we offer drop-in skating where people could come to just skate or join our stick and puck programs. And then we offer pickleball right up until we put the ice back in on the Rod Brindamore Arena. And what's interesting about pickleball, you think, oh, in the summertime, people are going to play outside because it's nicer out. But actually, we have a lot of return people coming because all the variables that you would have outside with the heat, wind, it's nice for them to come inside and play at Strathcona Gardens.
So a couple of points just with our summer break and our strategic plan to maintain access in the facility. We work closely with the outdoor pool to make sure that there's no conflict with what programs they're offering. So we don't stay open on weekends in the summertime. The outdoor pool stays open weekends. We find there's vulnerable people in our community that prefer to do certain fitness classes inside, so we do share those classes with the outdoor pool, but we have enough at the gardens to support that group. And then we've worked this year more than any other year, and we're going to keep expanding as we're just working with the parents to see what their needs are, so we can support what they require for drop-off times or pickup times, just to de-stress and so that they know their child's looked after and they don't have to try to leave work early or negotiate the, alternate pickup. So for summer break, just like I said before, our attendance is just Monday to Friday. We have drop-ins on Sunday. And just one thing to note with the arenas is that, this year, each year it seems to grow. There's a lot of competition for ice time. So the slots get booked up. It's a bit of a juggling act to manage and keep everybody happy. And not everybody is happy. But we do our best to maintain, access to each group and be fiscally responsible to our revenue model. And then registration for camps, we had 315 camps. We had 418 swim lessons. We did see a bit of a decline in swim lessons, but back in the third and fourth quarter, it's an increased demand for swim lessons. And arena lessons, 27, registered drop-in and fitness classes, 2018. And it is highly demanded. And when we do any kind of variation from what the normal is and they're used to, we do hear it. And fitness programs, 562, and certification courses for lifeguarding, and then there is one for arena staff as 88. Some facility upgrades that we did this year were we added some automatic doors in the arena. We did some exterior painting, and then we replaced the arena to hallway. It just wasn't a flow through. There were lots of slip hazards, so we've got that done, and it's worked out very well because the arena to rear entrance is becoming our main entrance. It's the most used entrance right now, and lots of positive feedback from the public about the automatic doors. We don't have parents or young kids fighting with their hockey bags and trying to open the door, so it's just worked out very well, and good timing with the Recreate project.
So this summer, we introduced yoga in the park at Hagel Park, and we had an average of 24 participants at our sessions throughout the summer. We hope to expand on that next summer as well. And what was neat to see is the participants that we had in that yoga program are not participants that we're seeing that come into the facility. And in particular, we're seeing young moms attending with their children, where the children could either play in the playground if they're old enough to play independently, or we had babies on mats. So it's an opportunity for these families that might not get to participate in organized recreation to be able to do so. We've also partnered with the Emergency Services Department to offer emergency training, so earthquake first aid training. We had 15 registrants and another 25 in other emergency courses. So we've had 40 participants in our emergency awareness and preparedness courses.
And so the other thing we continue to do too is host free community events throughout the year. First half of the year, we hosted a free family day skate and swim, which is sponsored by McDonald's, as well as a summer kickoff swim. And then we also, through the grant funding from the Canadian Tire Jumpstart program, it allows us to bring kids from Cedar School. They get to come to the facility to skate and swim, take part in lessons, and some free time in the pool and on the ice. And part of that grant funding takes care of their transportation. And to speak more about what Sarah was saying, for both of these things I've just talked about with the free events and the Jumpstart lessons, though you see so many people in the facility that you don't normally see, and like the same with those kids in the Jumpstart lessons, we don't normally see those children in the facility, but they get to come and they just have a great time.
We hosted our annual drowning prevention activities and information on the pool deck. And this year was particularly notable as we won the Life Saving Society's online contest for social media presence and campaign. So absolute credit to Amy Lotus, our single person marketing and communications team, who's going up against very big cities and full communications department. And that just shows how well we're getting the message, particularly of water safety out during that week, but also our communications throughout the year.
And then we've got some KPI reports, some key performance indicators. So our drop in attendance for the pool is probably going to be a little bit higher this year. For the arenas and fitness classes, the fitness classes is to be above what it was in 2023, and the arena is on track for the same as 2023. For program attendance, we're on track, except we are exceeding in the pool. There seems to be a very high demand for pool and pool fitness spaces. And then as far as membership goes, we're tracking to increase our 10-visit passes by 20% this year, and in 1-month passes by 40%. There's a bit of a reduction in the 3-month and 6-month, but it's probably just due to the construction. At the beginning of the construction phase, we had some planned closures, and so it is moving people more to the 10-visit and 1-month passes. And then facility generated revenue, last year was the biggest year we've had. We are looking to be on track to just be a little bit over or on track with what we did. And we are, one of the hurdles that we're seeing is just the front facade of the gardens is full construction. So not everybody that's driving by sees that it's open. So we're working and constantly communicating that we're open. We are going to create a banner that goes on the front of the building that shows that we are open during construction, just for anybody that's passing by that's not sure. And then operating expenses, there's slight increase over 2023 due to some in-house projects. And then just this year, we've had like a full complement of aquatic staff. So hence the increased offerings. Yearly attendance, we're on track to increase our total attendance by 18% in 2024. And we feel that that's due to marketing and, I think we've improved just the general positive experience at Strathcona Gardens. We can't keep everybody happy, but we work diligently to create positive experience so we get a lot of repeat or we get that out in the public. And then just our, for the managers at Strathcona Gardens and the staff at Strathcona Gardens, we're constantly just relaying the message. We're taking feedback. We're reviewing the feedback from users and are making minor access and wayfinding adjustments as we sort of navigate the construction process. And then just goals in 2024, we wanted to strengthen and build our team. We had a full complement of aquatic staff, but we had a lot of young aquatic staff. So so Sarah's taken the time to make sure that they're trained, they're better to handle certain types of experiences that happen at Strathcona Gardens. Parents can be pretty hard on staff at times, but we seem to be navigating it very well. And then just public communication, like the increased public communication is just an example of why our attendance is going to be increased. And then we'll just continue to navigate the change with the Recreate project. And then, three-way communication with users because we want to learn from their experience and just better it for the community. And lastly, we just wanted to thank on behalf of the staff at Strathcona Gardens, we wanted to thank the community, regional board, and Strathcona Gardens Commission for their continued support. And we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Well, I enjoyed that report very much. Any questions from the commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Kerr.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, staff. I really enjoyed your presentation. It was a nice format and well delivered. Thank you for that. And, it's good. It looks like there's still challenges out there, but it looks like you guys have got a handle on it and lots of enthusiasm moving forward. So that's great. Thank you.
Commissioner Grenlund, we can't see you. Do you have any questions?
I do. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Two comments. The first one is I've heard lots of comments on the new automatic doors in Rink 2. Lots of comments, and all of them positive. All of them asking why we did not do that years ago, right from people with 5-year-old kids right up to the old timers in the old timers tournament. So it's a wonderful thing we did there. And the second thing is, it looks like our Recreate project, although we started it 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, the report showed that pool program attendance is way up. Well, we just can't get that built fast enough. Thanks for the report.
Thank you. Any further questions? Yes, Commissioner Dahl.
Basically the same as everybody else. I just wanted to thank you for the report. I think it's great. I think the work that's being done up there is great. I don't have kids using the facilities, but I got a granddaughter who is really enjoying skating lessons at the rink right now and start swimming again shortly. So I think it's great to have a facility that helps keep our kids busy.
Commissioner Bryce.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, staff, for the report. The only negative thing that I've heard is the parking. So I don't know if you've been able to sort that out, but it seems like in particular it's the hockey events that people have been challenged finding parking. Thank you.
Does staff have any update on parking?
Well, for parking, we do have options for people to park in the church parking lots across the street from the gardens. And for staff, we have an arrangement with the church on Pinecrest for staff to park there. There's limited parking Sundays, but throughout the week and Saturdays and then the Sunday evenings, there's chances for the public and staff to park there. We have an agreement for them with staff, but the public are welcome as well.
Yeah, thank you. And certainly let the city know if there's challenges with the winter weather and the crossing at the spots that go across, see what we can do to maybe address some challenges that might arise there. Anybody else? Because I have a couple comments and I do really appreciate the report. I'm like, I wonder if we're getting that similar detail from our city reports. And I'm very curious now. When I saw the lacrosse, I was like, oh, that's interesting. We have a lacrosse that's outdoors. I wonder if it's getting the usage and stuff, but very small, but just had those kind of curious questions. So the first one was with the summer camp kids and the use of the McIver Lake Park. And I thought, wow, we have a potential plan at the city to do a specific plan for McIver Lake. And it'd be really great if we can capture information from the actual users in a more formalized way. So somehow get a communication from our Parks Department back to your department, so those kids and maybe their parents can talk about the amenities, their experiences that can inform our development of our plan more appropriately. And potentially, maybe kids don't know, but if you look at other communities like Kelowna, they have extensive facilities they've built out into their lakes. And I believe there is a facility in one of the regional parks in Victoria into the gorge that they did a big dock system, which is very handy for swimming and sunbathing and things. It'd be interesting to look at those ideas and get input from your point of view back to our local city for planning. And I think you answered the other question I had was the program growth is pretty impressive, and you've also now grown your staffing, and the financial impact, it's not going to be a complete 100% recovery, I get it, but do you have any concerns financially going forward? Like, do we need to resource more, or do we need to look at pricing more, or other incentives?
Well, there are a few things there. One is we're constantly trying to work with the city, and if I can force my will on any of it, is that communicate with the parents, the schools, the city, get feedback from people about what they need. We're here to provide recreation to people, find out what their needs are and fill those gaps. I think you've seen the transportation's a big deal. We're working with the school district, getting kids from the schools, making transportation or alleviating that from a barrier. That's getting people more into the facility. We're doing something philosophically and I think our chair mentioned this to us a year or two ago about expanding outside the boundaries of our facility. Like, we can offer programs, and we're going to offer programs outside the facility. That's just been a philosophical hurdle that recreation has not explored, and we're going to do it. And we're having success. You can see that, getting more users in there. So we're going to continue to work with the community, with the city, and with the city's recreation programs, the school, to find ways to continue to offer more programs. It's a healthy thing to do when we can keep, idle hands busy. It's really great. We're seeing lots of positive results out of that. So economically, I think what we do with the commission is, bring these things forward. And if we have, points that we're, needing more resources, we'll certainly bring those forward. But I think you're seeing what is, sure, recreation's a subsidized service, but, what we're doing is trying to make them at least cost neutral the best we can. And, when we need those resources, we'll bring that forward. But again, trying to do a cost recovery so we get people active, we get people doing things, and there's not an overall, financial burden that we're causing. So I think we're moving in the right direction. 18% growth in that is phenomenal. That's really great. And we want to keep pushing those numbers. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Any further questions from commissioners? Okay, all in favor of receipt? Any opposed? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, so we have another report from the Chief Administrative Officer. Could I get a motion to receive it regarding the Recreate Aquatic and Wellness Project status update?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Grenland. Thank you, Commissioner Kerr. Thanks.
You speak that.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm very pleased to provide you with the first construction update of the Recreate Aquatic and Wellness Project. I will be sharing some key milestones, work completed to date, upcoming activities, some adjustments that we had to do to the scope of work, budget status, some risk and mitigation actions that we have, communications, collaboration, and towards the end of my presentations, I welcome your questions and your feedback. So just before I start I focus on the construction, just a brief refresh on the scope of work, the timeline, and the budget. So what you see in front of on the screen right now, projected the orange and the blue buildings. This is that's the project that has been approved. That's what we're focused on right now. The orange is the renovation of the spaces that we'll have for the admin spaces, the fitness and the wellness, and some of the multi-purpose rooms. The stage one is what's being built right now. We're focused on the new construction of the new aquatic center, so that we'll have the 4 different pools, the change rooms, and as well this sauna and steam room. Timelines, the project is scheduled to be completed. There are 2 stages. Stage number 1, which is the aquatic center, is going to be completed August, September 2026. What you see in orange is the renovation of the existing facilities, which is anticipated to be completed in March 2027. The total budget that has been approved for the project is $69.8 million. The approval was given to us to move forward in June 26. And with this, I'm just going to start with some key milestones. So contracts to Heatherbrae Builders and HCMA and the subconsultant teams were awarded in July 2024. Those contracts have been executed, and we're still working with other owners, consultants, executing more contracts for the project. Mobilization in temporary facilities by the builder, Heatherbrae. So we have some pre-construction activities. Those ones include some civil work to the existing lane, the access through Pinecrest, all the fencing that was installed on the site, all the trailers, all temporary facilities, power, water, and the new regulation that came up in place to install flush toilets. We have put a lot of signage, and we also work in a vehicular access, just to make sure that all the vehicles that access the site travel the route that we have. So we did a lot of painting, and so that went pretty well. The groundbreaking event, thank you so much for attending. It was really nice to have you there, and so that was great. And right after you left, the excavator started working with the detailed excavation. We're just waiting for that day. So a temporary chemical room, this is definitely a key milestone. There is no way we could have started this project without having that temporary chemical room operating that will serve the existing pools for the next couple of years. Very intense work trying to relocate all the existing systems, all the pipes coming from the lower level of the existing facility into the new temporary sea cans. So a lot of equipment was installed, mechanical, electrical, and components were replaced that were necessary, and we got all the inspections from Vancouver Island Health and as well Works ABC. We closed the facility in October 7, and we reopened on the 13th. So very successful process. So I just want to thank as well the Strathcona Gardens managers for all the work that you guys did on our helping us with the authorities, both Works ABC and Vancouver Island Health. We have a foundation's work completion scheduled for March 2025, and I will continue updating on the schedule. My plan is to present these updates every month. We have the new aquatic opening, like I say, September 26, and the entire project will be completed spring 2027. Activities completed to date, value engineering process that we have to do to reduce the project cost before it was approved. We needed to have re-engage the entire team, the consultants and the builder, to develop a complete set. Issue for construction drawings will be issued this week. The contracts that we have executed, not only with Heatherbrae and also ACMA, where we have executed contracts with the geotechnical consultant, hazardous materials, the arborist, surveyor and other sub-consultants that are the responsibility of the owner, in this case, the regional district. I already spoke about mobilization and temporary facilities, and Walls in the next 6 slides will show you a few photos. The fitness gym has been closed. Spoke about the chemical room. Site clearing has been completed, and the water main connection to the city as well has been done. A few photos. You can see the photo on the left side of the temporary access and some of the civil work that was done, some of the painting. We'll continue monitoring this access to make sure that it's got the right conditions for patrons and facility users to access the Strathcona Gardens. And you can see the photo on the right side, a lot of the painting that was done for some of the accessible parking stalls. Temporary facilities by Heather Bray. We have many trailers, facilities for meetings, facilities for the workers to get changed. We have the new unit that was required by WorkSafe BC, that the minimum 25 workers we need to have now, flush toilets and other like specific components. We also have trailers for mechanical and electrical as key trays to this project. On the right side, we have printed a few banners that have been installed on the fence panels that will help us to communicate with the users, the staff, the community. The existing mechanical and electrical components on the right side, all those electrical components and many pipes were relocated. You can see now that the temporary chemical room that has been approved by Vancouver Island Health is the photo on the right side. It's currently operating and is all running really well. Some upcoming activities that we have, if you have had the opportunity to drive by the site, you can see the big excavation. So the excavation will continue for the next month. We're just waiting for some of the demolition work on the southwest wing to be completed. That's basically where the fitness gym used to be and the chemical room. As soon as we complete the demolition, the excavation will continue, and that's where we have to be very careful to monitor with geotechnical in this survey to make sure that the existing pole does not fail. So critical activities coming up. I'm really excited to get that close to. So a few photos of the bulk excavation and the demo work will come up. Backfilling will happen pretty soon, and then we're going to start forming the foundations for the pool. We're going to start from the east side, and we're going to start moving towards Dogwood. So it starts closer to the facility, away from that, and we anticipate that all these foundations will be formed and poured in March 2025. Mechanical and electrical installation at the basement level. The basement level is the technical corridor. If you have a chance to look at the drawings, I'm happy to share more in the future. But that's definitely something that is going to start as soon as all those walls, perimeter walls, are formed. So the project right now is progressing as planned. So we're on schedule and we don't have any issues. Left photo, the excavation. Right photo, some of the demolition that is happening. You can see that the slide has been removed. I was just looking at the photos that Sarah and Robin were presenting. Not as beautiful as these ones, but we're hoping that once the project is completed, this will look much better. Scope adjustments. I spoke about the new regulation by WorkSafe BC. So the new washroom unit has been installed and is operating. And some of the feedback that we received from some of the workers is that they're really happy. They have been working 20 years in this industry and they never had a flush toilet on a construction site. So this is just great. This new regulation was implemented beginning of this month, and it is mandatory for sites that have minimum 25 workers. We anticipate we're going to have something between 75 and 100 workers at a single time. We spoke about the value engineering, some of the changes that have been implemented. None of these will impact the overall budget. And we have some risk mitigation actions. So before we started the project, we were very concerned about soils. We tested before. We took some samples with the environmental consultant and the help of the geotechnical. All the results came negative. After the excavation, we found out that we have eliminated that risk, which is great. We don't have that problem. As well, we did a very detailed hazardous materials survey before we start the project, and it has been found that there is minimum hazardous materials on that area that we're demolishing and what's coming up in 2026. So far, that's going really well and eliminating in my opinion, a significant percentage of risk for this project. Total project budget, $69 million. Total spent today, $450, and we anticipate that the next progress claims, October, November, December, will have a total cost of $3.9. The project is within the approved budget. Communications, so there was pre-construction communications. I believe the commissioners received this bulletin. This was a bulletin to prepare and inform the community, the users, as well, everybody here in Campbell River and electoral area D about what was coming. I think communication is going really well. We haven't had any complaints. It seems like so far, users are very happy. We will continue communicating through the construction stage. We're providing updates on any disruptions, on any closures that we have. And all those updates are going to go on the Strathcona Gardens website. The project has a website, social media, and via email alerts. Just wanted to thank the communications team at Strathcona Gardens as well here at SRD for all the work that they're doing for us. I have a little video. I just don't really know how to play it. Perhaps I can get help. And I'm not an expert with videos, but I'm just like, I think it does probably speak more than what I have said. You can see the current condition of the site. And with this, I've finished my presentation, and I just welcome your questions and your feedback.
Well, thank you very much. I open it up to the commissioners. Anyone have a question?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment in case Wolf didn't stress it enough. Always we know in government projects the cost and the escalation and the unknowns. I would say our biggest concern was it's an old facility. We don't know how it was built, and we have a massive excavation to be done. And we're really worried about when you dig up what you dig up and contaminated waste. And we haven't had that issue, which is a big hurdle that we've overcome and anxiety that we have. And a bit of a bonus, I think, that goes with that is that we found that the material we've excavated, we can reuse as backfill on that. So a bit of a bonus in terms of not having to dip into contingencies. That was a major line of sight for us.
Excellent. Commissioner Granlund.
Thank you, Chair. Very good report, Wolfgang, and I'm glad to see the work going on there. I've been trying to stop by and have a visit with staff at least once a week. Unfortunately, this week I'm away, and then I'm away again for another 3 weeks. But I do have the one comment, Wolfgang, on the potential of opening up the roadway through behind the SPCA and the City Works Yard through to Muircroft. There was some discussion on that earlier. I'm not sure if it's an issue that's still on the table or if it's been put to bed. I get comments from people pretty steady on the access in and out. So your comments, please.
Cal, I think we're in discussion with the city in terms of what could potentially be used there at the access. So when we have something in terms of that, we'll bring it back. But yeah, it's something that we're going to try to explore.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions from commissioners? I just had one that came up from the picture, and I haven't drove in through Pinecrest, so I don't know. It looked like you put a lot of construction blocks between Pinecrest School area, and there used to be like a stairway there. Wasn't there an access? Is that still there, or is it gone?
Yeah, so the access has been closed, and the blocks, it was a request by the school district. They just don't want us to park right there.
Okay, hearing nothing else, all in favor of receipt? Any opposed? That's carried. Okay, so now I'm looking for a motion on item 3, the EV charging stations, that the report from the CEO be received.
Move receipt.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice. And Commissioner Dahl.
And Renee will speak to this.
Good morning, Commissioners. The purpose of this report is to consider entering into a partnership with BC Hydro to construct and operate EV charging stations at the newly constructed Strathcona Recreation Complex. The SRD has been actively exploring electrical vehicle infrastructure across the region, including Strathcona Gardens Complex. In the detailed design for Phase 1, there are some designated spots for EV charging stations that were to be constructed at a later date. And by constructing it at the same time as the facility, there's some synergies and cost savings that can be achieved. BC Hydro has a mandate to expand charging infrastructure throughout BC, and they have a program to partner with local governments on publicly owned land to facilitate the implementation of EV charging stations. So through that program, BC Hydro would cover 50% of the construction costs to install 4 fast charging units at the gardens. And then they would apply on our behalf to NRCan for a program that they have for the remaining 50% of the cost of the construction. And so BC Hydro has researched the location and agrees that it is a good location for public EV charging stations and would like to proceed with the SRD to construct them. And so today we're here just to propose that idea and determine interest in collaborating with BC Hydro for charging stations.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners? Oh, Commissioner Dahl, thank you.
My only question was when I read the report, it said that we would get 4 charging stations. And I wondered how many will be quick charges and how many would be just a regular BC Hydro charger.
These would be 4 fast charging ports.
So 4 fast charging ports. Well, as probably the only person here that drives an EV, I think it'll be great. When we go to the Strathcona Gardens, we park at the city works yard and plug in over there. But it's still not a fast charger. There's limited fast chargers in Campbell River, so it'd be really good to get 4 more.
Any further questions from the commissioners? Okay, I had a couple. I know you've had a pre-plan for the location, and it's a bit of a concern as a female, and the comments I get from other females is that a lot of these locations aren't necessarily the safest locations for females to charge at night. Even downtown in the city isn't feeling terribly safe, but we do have a police station that's closer by. And is there any way that we can get line of sight or a feeling of comfort because there is an RCMP station closer? And then I was curious about scalability and whether or not premium parking spots should be allocated to EVs, because I think in the old days we did that because we wanted uptake, and maybe there's a better place for scalability if we want to expand more EV stations, because you don't want to keep maybe taking the entire premium parking spots closest to the doorways just for EVs. Maybe you do, but it's sort of a debate question as to this is maybe the best location, or is there better locations within the parking space thinking about the future growth of EVs and needing more charging spaces?
There were 2 locations identified. The one now that's in front of the new aquatic center, and one that was closer to Dogwood. Currently, we selected the one that was in front of the recreation complex, but we can have further discussions with BC Hydro if we would prefer that Dogwood location, which would allow for additional level 2 chargers if we wanted. BC Hydro would be in favor of more charging stations. However, we do need to balance the need for regular parking at the location as well. So right now we do have the one location identified, but as we investigate a little bit further for electrical requirements and for, the impacts that you just mentioned about visibility, we do have the ability to switch that to that second location.
And I guess the other one is who pays? I mean, I understand if you're using it closer to the front door of the gardens, it's most likely to be gardens users, but I do know that if you do have fast chargers, it's going to be the general public, period, who are traveling with EVs and the convenience to that. So is it sort of something that we want to diversify in terms of, is it going to be regular SRD budget, or is it going to be just gardens budget that's paying for these? And then maybe the CEO can answer.
Well, I don't think we pay at all. This is no charge to us.
I thought there was a cost share, so that's why I was asking.
Cost share amongst BC Hydro and NRCan. We don't pay for the infrastructure or the operations of it. I think it's a 10-year operations agreement to it. So this is no cost to us.
Thank you for the clarification. Any questions arising from my questions? Anything further from staff? Okay, all in favor of receipt? Any opposed? And second motion? Yes. Commissioner Kerr?
Alternative one, partner with BC Hydro, install 4 EV charging ports at a new aquatic center during its construction phase. And also that we investigate the additional ports and the safety concerns in terms of location.
Second.
I got a tie on the second, but I'll say it, Commissioner Rice. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor? That's carried. Okay, so now we're down, there's no bylaws, correspondence, no reports from commissioners, seeing none. New business, addendum items, and we have the addendum item. We have a Fortis BC implementation incentive letter update. Can I get a motion that the report from the CEO be received?
Move receipt.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice. Thank you, Commissioner Redland.
And Robin will speak to this, Madam Chair.
Thank you through the CEO to the chair and the commissioners. In January of this year, we updated the commission just regarding a grant application for an energy study through Fortis. And then subsequent to that, we were approved after the energy study for several equipment replacements that were identified in the energy study, one of them being the Rod Brindamore Arena dehumidifier. It's I haven't got an exact date, but it's 35 to 39 years old. It's past its lifespan by about 7 years. We maintain it very well. It's a very simple unit to maintain. But with the grant, we did, or before the grant, we did allocate $550,000 in the financial plan to replace this unit. The grant through Fortis is offering a incentive of $234,900 if we have this new unit installed in 2025. To do that, we have a tight timeline as far as the manufacturing goes. The engineer of record that has designed and put the drawings together has sized it that it will work for the new arena upgrade, so it can just go from this arena to the new one if that project goes forward. And they've also recommended a manufacturer based on the specifics to work with our recovery system in the CO2 refrigeration plant. And we've got a quote from EI Solutions for $440,000, $360,000 for the new dehumidifier, plus $80,000 for installation in front of you. And that there's just several options for you to pick from. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Kerr. No questions? Any questions from anybody here? Okay, I hear none. So we'll have a motion. We have the motion for receipt on the floor. All in favor of receipt? Any opposed? It's carried. Does anyone want to move one of the options?
I would move option A, that the regional district proceed with a letter of intent to EI Solutions for the supply and installation of a new dehumidifier that aligns with the Fortis BC Energy Efficiency Grant opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner Grenland. Seconder?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. I guess we're ready for termination. Is there a motion for termination? So moved. Commissioner Dahl?
Second.
Commissioner Rice, all in favor? Any opposed? That's it. We're done. Thank you very much for the hard work. And thank you, staff. That was a lot of information today, and it was really appreciated.
Thank you. And I have one comment to Commissioner Dahl, that just because his F3.
Oh, we can't hear you. You're getting cut off there. Sorry.